Yes, 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 yes. Come on, let's go. It is what it is. I tell you, on this channel, we know what we are doing. We know what we are talking about here. It's all about Sport Debate Show today. Thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God. Thank God. Starting on Friday, guys. Let's do this. Woo. It's getting hot in here, I tell you, Maryland, here, Baltimore. It is what it is. Today, please smash the likes on the button. Let's do what we're talking. Let's do what we're doing. Smash the like on the button. Smash the like on the video. Come on, let's do this. They call me the Don. The Don of Sport Entertainment. No mess around, no mess around. In the studio, Robbie. Robbie is standing in by all the way from Ibadan, Nigeria. That's Oyo State, Nigeria. Don't mess around. I tell you, Professor Tuchel, big man himself, is the moderator for today. I tell you, in on this studio, we don't mess around. We know where we are doing. Professor Tuchel standing in by. Come for life, say you know hungry today. It's all about sport debate. Kunle also is getting ready. I'm telling you, all my co-hosts, they are getting ready. I tell you. Now let's get this into this straight. Please, if you are watching this for the first time, you know what to do. You know what to do. Please subscribe to this channel. Let's grow together. Let's mix up together. Let's be friends together. Let's build a community together. That's why they call me the Don of Sport Entertainment. This is absolutely different from what you've been watching. I tell you, you can't find it anywhere. I know what I'm talking about. It's all about sport debate. Let's go for it, guys. I'm bringing in, first of all, the moderator for today. His name is Professor Tuchel. I call him the big man himself. Prof, what's going on?
Thank you so much, Don.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon from to you, anywhere you are in the world. Welcome to today's debate show. 5 subs in the EPL next season. Will it affect the game in a good or bad way? And Cristiano is the talk of the town today, is the talk in the football world. He wants to leave United. A good or a bad thing. So it's looking like a great show. Can't wait to get it started. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to call Kunle right now. Bringing Kunle in. Kunle is ready. He's going to be one of the analysts. He's going to tell us what he's up to. What he up to now. Kunle, are you in the building? Tell them, Kunle, what's going on, bro? Yes. Kunle, I'm waiting for you. What you doing? It's social getting crowdy. Let's tell me something. Kunle, come in. It's into the show. But well, you know what? It is what it is. Let's get the show started. I'm going to call in Cup for Life. What's going on, bro? Cup for Life.
Hello. Good to be here. Let's do this.
Yes, let's do this.
Ready for the show, ready to kick somebody's something. Let's do it.
All right, Kunle, what's going on there in Oshodi? Is it getting crowded? Is it getting messed up? Tell me something.
Yeah, everyone is heading back home, so it's ready. There's a lot of traffic and all as usual. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow is going to be the last working day of the week, and there's going to be a long holiday period stretching all the way till next week, Tuesday, as they are going to be having the Salah holidays over the weekend and into Monday and Tuesday. So everyone cannot wait for work to end tomorrow so that they can have the long holidays to themselves.
All right, Kunle, thank you so much. I have also 2 people special in this studio. They will be doing a backup. They will be listening. And at some point, they're going to tell us what they feel about this topic for today. First, let me bring Robbie in. Robbie, what's going on, bro? What's going on? Tell me something all the way from Oyo State. What are you saying? How you doing, bro?
Good evening, guys. It's good to be here once again. I have missed every one of you. Cup for Life. Right. I have missed your pastoral, your pastoral demeanor and how you actually just go about I'm giving us this calm, serene atmosphere in the studio. Good to be here once again.
All right, Robbie, thank you so much. That is why they are telling you come for life. You're being wanted by everybody. They want to hear the gimmicks. They want to hear the story. Come for life in the building. Tell them, come for life. Tell them.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. It's a tough topic we have today, but I'm sure I'm going to do it some justice. I'm sure there would be some new information you'll gain out of today. Let's do this, guys.
All right. I love that. I love that. They want to see my face, but hold on, guys. I'm going to bring in one person, but he's still going to meet us at some point. His name is Baba Femi Busari. Baba Femi Busari is also in the building, but I'll bring him on later on. He's still trying to locate where his earpiece is, but I tell you, he's a massive guy. Hi, Baba Femi, can you hear me all the way from Canada?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing?
All right, bro, you're welcome into the building. So let's sit back and relax, and we're going to enjoy the show. Now, straightforward. First thing first, come and see my face. I tell you, I'm in the building. I'm getting ready. Yes, this is me. Yes. Once again, please subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm talking about. Don't mess it around. This is me. They call me the Don of Sport Entertainment. Straight up, Come for Life, what's going on? How you doing? Tell me something. What's going on, bro?
All good. Great show as always. Great to be around all these amazing gentlemen, and it's going to be another interesting show. I am eager, I am ready, I am willing to fight on behalf of Ronaldo, and I'm willing to fight on behalf of all the smaller children that are outside of the top 6 when we are talking about 5. As a Liverpool fan, how about that?
Oh my goodness. I'm sure Kunle is going to give it to you. Kunle, what do you think? What do you think? He's bragging. Come for Life is already bragging. Tell him something.
Yeah, it is right. It is right to brag. Quite all right, but hey, we'll all make our points in due course. So let's wait and see.
All right, I'm going to call the moderator for the day. I call him Professor Tukel. Can you, Professor Tukel, what's going on in your area? What's going on? Tell me something.
It's a cool weather. It's a cool evening here in Lagos. So, waiting for the show to get started. It's an interesting topic. I can't wait to see what the guys have got for us.
All right, let's do this now. I'm going to do something right away. Professor Tukel, please, can you do something? Tell them what we are going to, the first discussion for today. Please roll it. It's your show. It's your show.
Yeah, I think the first discussion is Ronaldo wanting to leave. Oh, sorry, the first discussion is the 5 substitutions.
Yes.
Next season. Is it a good idea, and how will it affect the teams? The big teams, the small teams. We want to know what their take is. So the 5 substitutions, is it a good idea or not? And then the topic is Ronaldo leaving United. Is it a good thing for United, or is it a bad thing for them? So those are the topics. Yeah.
All right, now over to you. Who's going to start first? I'm going to call on who? Moderator, what do you think is going to start? Let's do it.
I think today Cup for Life should go first.
Now, Cup for Life should go first. You're on the spot.
He always likes to come second and attack from behind, but he should go first today.
You know what I'm talking about. Cup for Life, go for it. No mess around. Let's do this. Come on. Unmute.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I feel it's unfair, but let's go. I think I should go second, given that there's a lot to say on these topics. But you know what? I enjoy always being the underdog. Let's do this. So we're going to talk about the 5 subs rule first, right? That's where we're going first. We're going to talk about the 5 subs rules, and we'll talk about Ronaldo secondly. 5 sub rules. Let me make a prediction before I even start. The concept of the 5 subs rule is the first step to the Super League. You can write that down today, that is the first step to the Super League. You see, people that run organizations, people that run things like football, when you're talking about the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, they are very, very strategic. The leaders of these big clubs in these leagues. So they tried to go for the Super League and they flopped badly, and a lot of fans, there was a lot of outrage around this, and people were thinking, okay. And then they decided, how can we be strategic and start to show that there's a significant gap between the teams that we were talking about to join this Super League versus the rest of the teams in their own individual leagues. And then they came up with this 5 subs rule. Now, for the average person, you are thinking, 5 subs, it is a disaster for the smaller teams. An absolute disaster for the smaller teams. Why do I say that? First, and you have to start to think about what the concept of 5 subs mean and how this will affect the big boys versus how this will affect the smaller guys. And, in my thinking and in my looking at the facts around this, I was able to realize that, first and foremost, I came up with some factors here that I think would significantly work on behalf of the big boys versus on behalf of the small boys. So, to get 5 subs in, what do you need? First and foremost, you need cash to be able to buy a squad that can compete to that level. Who has that cash? The big boys. The big boys can go ahead and fill up their squad with enough players to be able to make 5 quality substitutions during every single game. Now, the minute you have 5 quality substitutions during each game with quality enough players, then what do you do at that point? You now have squad depth. Who has squad depth? The big boys. The big boys are the only ones that will have squad depth. The big boys are the only ones that will be able to say, okay, yes, you know what? I can fill up my team and I can have 6, 7, 8 players. Then all of a sudden, the likes of Chelsea that loaned out Gallagher last season to Crystal Palace will keep Gallagher because they realize all of a sudden he's no longer going to be a fringe player that we're going to loan out to Crystal Palace. We're going to keep him in our ranks because we need a bigger squad to be able to manage the 5 substitution rule. So when you think about that, the small teams are already at a disadvantage when you are now thinking about money and squad depth and being able to loan players out. So the loan system all of a sudden again is all of a sudden in a problematic position for the smaller teams that are looking to loan the likes of, if you imagine, you look at Manchester United loaned out Van der Beek last season to Everton. When you think about that, all of a sudden, that's not going to happen anymore because Manchester United are thinking, that's not the best thing when we come to my other point around this, which is managing games. So all of a sudden, you can go into a game and you can start to think, I've played 3 midfielders this game. They've run for 45 minutes. If you look at what happened last season when Liverpool played Villarreal in the Champions League semi-final, Villarreal ran for about 45 minutes. They kicked Liverpool left, right, center. All of a sudden, second half, their midfield had burnt out. They had gassed out. Imagine there was a 5 sub rule in that situation that Villarreal could have brought up. And they had, if Villarreal, for example, had the squad depth to be able to say, okay, we're a big team. Don't forget, Villarreal are a small team in Spain. Let's assume they could have swapped out those 3 midfielders and brought on a new set of 3 brand new midfielders, fresh legs, same quality. Then all of a sudden, Liverpool are in trouble. Now, that's what you should expect will happen this season in the Premier League, where all of a sudden, the big guys will say, this trio in midfield, I want you to run your socks off for 45 minutes. Go out there and kill yourselves for 45 minutes. We'll sub all of you. The new set is going to come out in 45 minutes. Same quality. Can you imagine you are a team like Nottingham Forest? You hear that. You see that situation. You're going to be panting. You're going to be thinking, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. The pace of the game, because you can manage the games better, would be 90 minutes. Great spectacle for the fans watching. Great news for the big teams that can afford to field that level of competition in their teams. Horrible, disgraceful news for the younger guys coming, for the younger teams with limited resources when you think about it. So for me, I'm just going to very quickly conclude by saying this is something that all of a sudden, and I'll make another prediction, you will notice that the gap between the top 6 and the rest this season is going to be significant because of the 5 subs rule. you will notice the significant gap. And while it sounds nice and fluffy in theory, it is the beginning of the end of the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, the Bundesliga as we know it. Because all of a sudden, what will happen is the big teams are now going to significantly pull away because they have the stock, they have the players. And then the smaller teams, there'll be a significant gap. And all of a sudden, it is the beginning of the Super League because these leagues will no longer be competitive. The top 5, top 6 in those leagues will create a significant gap. And that's where I rest my case, gentlemen, and to our viewers. I think it's my concern for the 5 subs regarding how we move forward, particularly in the Premier League, where there's already a disparity between the small teams and the big teams. This is going to create a bigger disparity.
All right.
Thank you so much, Professor Tuchel.
Yeah,
Cup for Life has spoken.
Cup for Life has spoken, has told us how the 5 subs is a danger for the Premier League and even other leagues. So I think Kule is coming in now to speak as to why the 5 subs is not a danger, it's a good thing for the Premier League. So Kule, you can come in.
All right, Kule, come in, please. And before you come in, let's all our subscribers watching everywhere you are, please smash a like on the video. Over to you, Kule. The floor is open. Let's do this.
And please, Kule, you have 15 minutes. Thank you.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. And that was a very, very wonderful submission by Cup for Life. But I am going to disagree with many of the things that he has said. Firstly, I find it funny that it is the Premier League of all leagues that were last in implementing this the 5 substitution rule, because if we look at it, the Premier League is the wealthiest league in the world. So saying that, and let's not forget that some of the smaller teams that we're talking about in the Premier League, they are even richer than clubs like Villarreal. Yes, they are. They have more resources than the Villarreal that Cup for Life and that. So if there is anything, I even see this as an opportunity for these smaller teams to equally have, let's say, more squad depth in a way, because each passing season is more money for the Premier League. Look at, like now, take for instance, look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa now under Gerrard seem to be going in a very, very big let me say a big trajectory, because they did very well last season, looking at the kind of players that they got. Now, for a club like Aston Villa now, there is now more depth in that squad. So definitely this 5 sub rule is going to be favorable for them, because if they want to go beyond, because now Aston Villa now is probably on a level where it's not about avoiding relegation now. I think it's more about, okay, let us crack into the top 10, right? So that is definitely something that will aid them, because if it were to be in the case of the 3 sub rule, there would probably have been some extra legs that they could have brought on, but because of that, it wasn't going to be possible. But now it is. Now these smaller teams are the ones who have always been who were complaining. That's why I find it funny. They are the ones who were complaining that they was going to give the big teams the advantage. But look, this is one thing. The big teams will always be big no matter what. They have more of the resources. Even if they don't bring these rules, they still have more of the better players, and it will favor them. But let's not forget that in spite of this, we have these smaller teams where from time to time they cause upsets. We saw that with a team like Brighton and Hove Albion last season. So, and with Brighton and Hove's Albion position, where I think they finished in 10th, that means there's going to be more resources for them this season. So that means they can equally add into their squad depth. So if anything, this 5 sub rule is still a way for these smaller teams to go at least toe to toe I don't see it as a disadvantage in any way at all. Because maybe if you said maybe maybe in La Liga now, maybe that is where I can say, because we know that disparity is huge. But please, this is a league where the winner from the promotion playoff in the championship gets $200 million, 200 million pounds or thereabout. I mean, that is enough. I mean, that is enough money to do so much to, what's it called, to beef up, to beef up the entire club. And that is why there is always eyes on promotion. That is why we are seeing many clubs. We see club owners going to invest in championship clubs because of that prospect of the Premier League. So the Premier League is the richest. So I don't see why this should be a problem for the Premier League. I am more upset that it took them this long when the rest of the world, were already on 5 substitutions. It took the Premier League this long. That is where I have the problem with them. But for me, I don't see it as a problem at all. If anything, the bigger teams should also be weary, because the money that is available to the smaller teams will mean that they too can, strengthen in a way. So they have more squad depth, and they'll be able to challenge. But the problem then, of course, is that when one good player performs, like this Cucurella guy from Brighton last season, and Yves Bissouma, the big teams, they are going to come for them. But that has always been the norm. If you do well from a smaller one of the bigger team is going to come for you. So I don't see it in any way affecting the small teams. I just didn't understand their logic for why they didn't agree to this early on, because they were the ones against it. But come on, this is the Premier League. There is money. They can invest in players. They can invest in what they want. It might not be up to the level of the big teams, but it is still something considerable. So I see no reason why they cannot why they cannot also use that to their favor. Because as Cup for Life mentioned, Villarreal had some players that were stretched, right? So because of that, maybe because they didn't have that squad depth, right? But in the case of these smaller clubs, some of them do have. So it gives them wider options, to pick from. It equally gives them that same opportunity. So I feel they should use this to their advantage, rather than try to wail and say, "Oh no, it's not going to favor us. It's not good." I mean, if Aston Villa now manages to finish 6th, or let's say Brighton and Hove Albion finish 8th, are we going to say that the 5 substitution rule did not favor them? Obviously not.
Okay.
All right.
Kunle has spoken well. Yeah, Kunle has spoken well. Before I add in 1 or 2 things, I don't know if Couple Life still wants to say anything more on the topic of the 5 substitutions. Just before
Absolutely, yes.
All right, go for it, bro. Couple Life.
All right.
Just quickly, Couple Life, 2 minutes, quickly, or 3 minutes.
2 minutes to round up on this point here. Let's be clear. Let's not go into the 200 million parachute payment. Let's be clear what that truly means for the teams who are in promotion. We can have another show on what that means, but it doesn't mean that you are giving $200 million pounds rather, to go and play with. That's far from reality. That's one. Very, very quickly. Second thing is this. I'll quote this very quickly. The team that finishes 10th last season got £24 million. And then it goes down to 15th, which you get £13 million. And if you get relegated, you get £2 million. The point I'm trying to make here is that if you finish 10th and you get £24.2 million, a quality player is only about £25 million minimum that you will spend. So how all of a sudden they have the resources to compete with the big boys, I have no idea. Because let's be clear about something. If you're going to compete with the big boys, you need to be in the Champions League. We need to be collecting 40, 50 million in addition to be able to compete in the Champions League. That's why those teams have 100 million to spend. Villa are spending the money from Grealish from last season, so they are not a good example. The point we are making here is simple. The small boys that look at the loan system will not be able to benefit on that loan system anymore. The depth of their squad is going to be endangered. They will not have the quality. Some of them cannot even field enough substitutes, never mind 5 subs to come on, unless sometimes they even have 2 goalkeepers on there. I'll end by saying we are in trouble, and I have not heard any facts to say we're not. Thank you.
Whoa,
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Call for life.
It's a good argument, but there's some important points that I would like to touch on as the moderator that wasn't spoken about, if you would allow me. First of all, I think it's to start with Kunle's point. Kunle didn't touch on a particular strong point of how the 5 substitutions can help the league. The injuries, the player injuries, for instance. That's a point.
Yeah, it totally skipped my mind. I just, as we were discussing, I just remembered, because that was the basis. That was the basis of what I said helped these people during the pandemic. Actually, I had it in my notes, so in what I penned.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I don't know why it skipped my. That was the number 1 point.
The
jury has point.
No, I understand. I know. It's perfect. I just remembered. Yeah, I know. I understand. Yeah, I totally understand. But yes, as he just mentioned, I just wanted to know that I had that point as well. That was actually my first point. But it's all good. It's all good.
Goes that way.
Yeah. So
no problem.
Yeah. So we have to realize that the 5 subs. This, speaking on Kunle's point, it might be a good thing for the league in terms of the injuries and the fatigue. And let's not also forget that it's a World Cup here. So this, if more often, if we haven't had it before, this is like the best time to introduce it to the Premier League because of the World Cup. Also, another point is the people are clamoring for the youth system. You have teams in the Premier League that go 38 games a season without really giving the youth chance. Why is that? Because you have limited subs and you're under pressure to win. You can't afford to take a risk with little kids. But now with 5 substitutions, you find out that the league might improve in that regard, because you now have extra positions. We'll be having 9 players on the bench, so you have teams who have probably won the game already at 70 minutes, 60 minutes, can afford to bring in more kids from the bench and give them more experience, which in turn will improve the quality of the league and the homegrown players in that regard. Club for Life spoke about the fact that 5 subs might be more of an advantage to the bigger teams. While I can see his point of view, I also feel like there's a little bit of balance against this big team. First of all, let's agree on something. Every team goes into the league, into the Premier League, with at least 23 players. Everybody, all of them going to the league at 23 players. So the reasons why some of them end up with 2 players on the bench is because of injuries. So, which we've already spoken about earlier, how 5 subs can curb the injuries. That's why you have people putting on 2 players on the bench. 5 subs tactically now. If a Pep Guardiola thinks the game is 0-0 at 70 minutes and he has the quality to throw in 5 attackers from the bench, strong quality. Who is it? We have an Eddie Howe can also look on his bench and throw in 5 defensive players. So for me, there's a little bit of balance there, and so yeah, that is just the point. I don't want to give any verdict. So that's just the point I want to add to both arguments, by the way. So yeah.
All right. That's fantastic. Moderator, please. How do we go about it?
Yeah. So the next topic goes first.
Let's go to the next.
The next topic Kule goes first. I don't know what Kule is arguing for, but the topic is Ronaldo's supposed exit from Man United. Is it a good thing for Man United or a bad thing? So Kule, please come on,
Kule, go for it. Come on, Kule.
Yeah,
Manchester United. Be careful.
Yeah. For me, it's a good. I'm going for it. It is a good move, and why I say it's a good move first and foremost is because it takes away the ego factor that is there, because he has the biggest egos. We know very well that Manchester United has this problem with egos coming from the players. You know, it's not just different players, even players you feel like, hey, what have these kind of players achieved in their lives, that, you know, there seems to be this problem that they say they are having with the manager and this and that. But without a doubt, we know that Cristiano Ronaldo has the biggest ego. And because of this ego that we're seeing, that this man has, you know, he has this larger than life factor. He's a superstar, arguably one of the greatest players to play the game and all. Well, this is my own belief that though it shouldn't have happened, I have a feeling that this thing really crept into the minds of other Manchester United players. And because of that, we couldn't get the optimum that we would usually see from them. This was including a player like Bruno Fernandes, who was the center of attraction before Cristiano Ronaldo came. But you saw that everything changed about him. Players like Marcus Rashford, okay, yeah, we know maybe he had a problem with he had a fitness problem. But then there was missing Greenwood, you know, a player who was never ready to, who would suddenly be reluctant to want to pass the ball to Ronaldo. And you could tell in his body language, like he didn't want to give him. Greenwood, Ronaldo too would look back at him and snap. And, you know, and I was like, you know, it shouldn't happen in the ideal world. And yeah, I know you would say that these are the kind of things that the manager should treat. But that's why we're now saying that because of Ronaldo's stature, I think it becomes very difficult. It's not something that is easy to manage. Yeah, you could make mention of, say, oh, Zidane managed him, Ancelotti managed him, and all well and good. But not everyone is a Zidane, not everyone is a Carlo Ancelotti. You understand? So it becomes a very, very big problem for the club and the players. And now that he is leaving, at least I believe it brings a bit, or he intends to leave. I feel it's going to bring a breath of fresh air in a way, because, you know, a manager doesn't have to contend with that colossal figure. You know, a manager would want to actually deal with a player that he knows he can control. You know, a player that if he says, I'm not playing you today, I'm not playing you today. And that is it, not the one that he wants to come and give up an excuse and all. Because like now, for instance, this issue that he hasn't turned up to preseason training, and they are giving this excuse that it's family reasons and all. I'm sorry. That thing came up about 3 or 4 times last season. There was even one, was it not before the Manchester Derby, where he said he was going to Portugal, and people, and you know, it started asking questions like, who is in charge? Who is in charge of the club? Such things do not need to be happening. The manager needs to be in charge of things that are happening in the club. So if there is someone who is making things happen this way, I think it's best maybe that person needs to go, because the manager needs to be in control no matter what. Then apart from that, Ronaldo is not a long-term prospect for Manchester United. Okay, this is just his final season, but after this season he's probably going to go. Why don't we look long-term? Because I personally did not think he was needed in the first place, because Manchester United, contrary to what people say, Manchester United did not have a goal scoring problem before Ronaldo came. Manchester United were scoring goals previously before Ronaldo came, and it was evenly distributed to the point that even players like Scott McTominay, who is not really favored, was seeing close to like 7-8 goals in all competitions, you know. So it was evenly spread. But obviously, when someone like Ronaldo comes, it's going to change, because it means he's the center of attraction, he's the focus, so he will score more goals and all. But then, because of that attention, I feel, well, maybe some of those players won't be happy about it and all. But you know, that's why I said we don't need such a figure. We need to be around people that will know that they are all, you know, there's that harmony. Once there is this division, this player doesn't like him, this one doesn't like he's saying this, it creates a very, very big problem for the manager. So I feel this is the time for him. He should leave. I don't even know why he came in the first place, because Manchester United was not. Yeah, I always say, because Manchester United is not in the same position that he left the club. So why did you come when you knew that things like making the Champions League was never really going to be a guarantee? You know that how things happen up, from the top and all. So I feel these are things he should have considered. But I don't know. But I think Ronaldo is just this kind of person who just thinks about maybe himself and what he wants to get, and doesn't maybe consider. Because if he did, I am sorry, he is not supposed to come to Manchester United for any reason. Because him coming back a second time has only made a mockery of himself, because he scored 18 goals. Anybody can score 18 goals, please, if they're having a good season. But when you look at the I didn't say within Manchester, I know you would have come. Even at that, yes, I still stand by it. 18 goals is something. You could say, okay, when last did someone score 18 goals and all of that? But what was the end result at the end of it? It wasn't something that was reflective in the overall, you understand. And knowing that this is somebody who is a serial winner, he should go to a place where that is the kind of atmosphere. And I feel a place like that would be Real Madrid, which now begs the question why he left Real Madrid in the first place, when he could still have been that serial winner that he is, because that is the culture of the club. But you are now moving to other clubs where, things are not really as smooth as it used to be when you were in, Real Madrid, in terms of winning the Champions League, winning leagues and things like that. So for me, I feel it's the right thing for him to do, because his figure, he's an all-consuming figure, and it's just going to be something that is just going to be too difficult for a manager to cope with, and also the players. Let's not also forget as well, there's always this question about style of play. Can he fit in? Because Ten Hag wants to do the high pressing game, things like that. Though there were indications that Ten Hag has plans for him, but we don't know how it was going to turn out. But why don't we go for someone who is more energetic, more lethal, more energetic, more that is younger, someone that can play like 10, 11 games at the stretch, that kind of a thing. So
yeah. All right, Kule, thank you so much. Moderator, can you please read what Margaret?
Yeah, I have a comment from Margaret from Akpan. She said, I don't think the reason behind the introduction of 5 substitutions is for the implementation of Super League. It took the Premier League 2 seasons for them to decide about the new rules. I personally think she has a point there. Cup for Life obviously disagrees, but I think if it's something that would happen, we would not know. It will take some time before we know if that's the reason. But I don't really see a link between the 5 substitutions and the Super League, to be honest.
Thank you, Margaret, for the comment. Please, Cup for Life, what do you think?
Well, I think you did an interesting job in stating your case for Ronaldo, and why you think that Manchester United are better off without Ronaldo than with Ronaldo. I think my case is quite interesting, and never mind the fact that I'm not a Manchester United fan. In fact, I am from the other side, which you'll be surprised that I'm about to fight for Ronaldo now. I think I've talked about my feelings about Ronaldo previously, but let's take it from a different angle and a different perspective. I like to talk about things from a factual perspective. I don't like to go based on emotion. I like to go based on what do we know for a fact. Okay, so here are some basic facts we know. Ronaldo scored 24 goals in all competition last year. That's a fact. The closest thing to him at Manchester United was 10 goals in Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes scored 10, and then after that you had Mason Greenwood, who scored 6 goals. So first and foremost, if you had Fernandes together with Mason Greenwood, they still don't score you the total number of goals that Ronaldo scored last season in 24 goals in all competition. So you have to understand that first and foremost, you're losing a significant goal scorer. Aside from the fact that you're losing a significant goal scorer, you also have to understand that In 30 games that he played in last season, Manchester United went on to win 14 of those games. 8 of the times he didn't play, Manchester United only won 2 out of those, which means they won a quarter of the games he didn't participate in, and they won about 50% of the games he participated in. So when we talk about the fact that he's not impactful, again, that's highly inaccurate. He's very impactful in the sense that at least 50% of the games that he plays in is actively involved, and he's successful in pushing Manchester United to winning those games. Also very important to bear this in mind. Only Son and Salah scored more goals than Ronaldo last season. That's significant for a 37-year-old player. Now, I mention his age for a reason. In every single club, if you go to the old days of Manchester United, you go to Real Madrid, you go to Barcelona, you will always find senior players. If you do not find senior players, and that is an indictment to me, that tells me that that club are not forward thinking, and they're not thinking about a senior player that will teach the young players the ethos of that club. What is that club about? There is nobody better than Cristiano Ronaldo to tell you what Manchester United is about. Don't forget that this is a player that came into Manchester United at a time where, he was able to see the likes of Keane, Scholes, Bott, Neville. Is real. He was able to see senior players that understood what it meant to put on the shirt for Manchester United, right? So let's not forget that there's a clear leadership message here, a clear leadership message that take away Ronaldo. Don't forget this. Every single young player coming through had a mentor. So before you start talking about the likes of the generation of them that won the Milk Cup and went on to become those formidable guys and Giggs, Scholes, Bott, Beckham, all of those guys, and the ones that left the club like Gillespie and Savage, you have to understand that they are the likes of Gary Pallister, who was there telling them this is what it means to play for Manchester United. They are the likes of Steve Bruce telling them this is what it means to play for Manchester United. And they had, of course, the Maverick captain as well. But when you think about this, they were able to teach the next generation what it means to play for Manchester United. When you get rid of a Ronaldo, then all of a sudden, you get a new set of young players without any direction and looking up purely to the coach. To me, even if you look at Manchester City, they had Vincent Kompany doing that, and they had Fernandinho doing that. So you always must have senior players in your squad that people respect. Regardless of the grumbles that these young players might have, one thing is for sure. You cannot tell me that they will be able to look Ronaldo in the eye and tell him no. They have to have a player like that they trust and respect. That's why Liverpool continue to increase, renew the contracts of someone like James Milner. Because they understand that those players help to set the expectations for the next generation, and even for the players joining the club to be able to tell them what that club represents, not just to themselves, but what the fans expect as well. So I think you cannot discount that in any shape or form. I think the bigger question should not be about Ronaldo, because I think Ronaldo has proved his value over many seasons. I think the question should be regarding the ownership structure of the club that decided that Erik ten Hag was good enough to manage Manchester United. I think, firstly, before club owners should make such ridiculous decisions, they should be thinking about what that means. And you can already see what that means when every single top player has decided that they don't want to join Manchester United. And then the choice you have is Malacia, who there are better players in the Premier League that can actually go in at left back and play a much better game than he can. So, to me, the fans should be outraged that Ronaldo is leaving. The current crop of players should be outraged that Ronaldo is leaving. It's a cop-out for them to say, oh, well, his attitude is this, his attitude. He's a world-class player that played the game for many seasons. He has a ton of knowledge about the game. I think it was the former Manchester United left back went to visit him at home. I can't remember, his name escapes my mind now. Black guy, played for Manchester United. He went to visit Ronaldo at home, and He said that when he got to Ronaldo's house, one of the things he recognized was that this guy was eating chicken without any sauce on it, just plain chicken. Now, why am I saying something so simple and ridiculous? He kept up with what he expected to achieve with his body and how he represents himself 247. He didn't play. He didn't have a day off. Young players and even the existing crop of players at Manchester United can learn something from this. The owners can learn something about a player that shows that level of dedication. And if they don't understand that, then that is on the ownership structure for saying that, you know what, we now need a manager that does not understand the league, does not have the ability to attract the top-end players, and now we are now about to lose our biggest asset. To me, I think it's a disgrace on Manchester United, and I think he must stay on at the club. That's the only way forward. I'm sure you're professional as a football club.
Thank you.
Go for live. You have a comment all the way from Ezekiel Shubowale. Moderator, can you please read that comment for us? Let it be.
Ezekiel Shubowale says we'll definitely take him at Chelsea. I think
are you serious? Are you kidding me?
Would have him all day long.
No.
I think Babajide wants to.
Baba Femi
wants to comment on the Ronaldo issue. I think you should come.
Yeah, thank you for using me.
Yeah, welcome, Baba Femi.
Yes, because I've done justice to the Ronaldo debate, and I feel like a lot of Manchester United supporters have a lot of hubris in that they're used to following a club that just wins trophies for fun and all that, and then because they've lacked that for so long now, they are willing to grasp onto anything that will promise them trophies, but they don't want to go through the hard process. And this is what is going on now. With Manchester United, maybe looking from the outside, which I've been an Arsenal supporter, I've always seen, okay, everybody can tell that United's finish the season before this last one was kind of a fluke with the way they ended. They were scoring goals freely and all that. But from the outside, you could tell that this is not exactly working the way that it was intended. But I was glad that they went on with it, with the project with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And then Ronaldo, the promise of Ronaldo came, and of course they took it. For me, I was hoping that it was going to head to Manchester City, but it did not. So he went to Manchester United, which I think was an emotional decision for him, because of the draw that he has to the club. And then, of course, for an asset like that a team like Manchester United has not been able to draw, of course, they've not been getting players at the top end of the quality thing. And for a while, they've needed a player like that. And for the young players that they had on their team, the Rashfords, the Greenwoods and all that, they obviously had a discipline problem. And they have a finished rate Ronaldo, a world-class player that has seen and won it all everywhere, and then he's here now, and all of a sudden, all those players that were delivering earlier because of the weight of the expectation at that point were shining into their shells. That should not be happening in a club like Manchester United. Manchester United usually boasts of players that come out of the tunnels with their shoulders held high and all of that, but none of that was happening. The Rashfords, when they were losing games, they can't really inspire teams to win from behind and all of that. So yeah, I feel like now that he's asking to leave, it will be a huge loss to the team because they are losing the mentality and they are losing the goals, like the earlier speaker said, the goals that for new players, I believe that people always talk about, they've not gelled into the team correctly. Now everybody's saying the team is not working well because Ronaldo is present, even though it's his first season back. And he's scoring 24 goals, like the previous speaker said. So, yeah, that's my point. I feel like Manchester United would have done better trying to keep Ronaldo. And that's why a lot of people are willing to take him off their hands, with the Chelsea fans already asking for Ronaldo right away. So yeah.
Can you imagine? All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Baba Femi. Thank you so much.
I think
Moderator.
it was a yeah. I think I just had a little thing. I think I'm in support of Cup for Life. I think it's a bad thing for Man United to let Ronaldo go. I think if you look at this deal, the De Jong deal, I'm personally suspecting that the fact that Ronaldo wants to leave might have something to do with the delay. Because if you're De Jong, a world class central midfielder, and you're coming to a team like Man United who doesn't offer you Champions League football, you're looking at players like, we all know Pogba is left, but you're looking at players like Pogba, like Ronaldo, the big players to still be in the club for something to happen. But if you're coming to a club of that stature and you're seeing a legend, a Man United legend in Ronaldo wanting to leave, then you start asking questions. You start asking yourself questions that what am I coming to do here? So I think it's a very very bad thing. I think it's a very very bad thing. I think it's not good for Man United. So yeah, it's been a fantastic debate today.
Yes. I want to add sauce to it. Now. For all our viewers, we got to find a winner. We have to find where we are going to.
Okay, for today.
All
Okay,
right, go for it, moderator.
Yeah,
No mess around, no bribery.
Ronaldo going to United. I think Cup for Life. Ronaldo leaving United, potentially leaving United. I think Cup for Life won the argument. I think it's going to be a very dangerous game for Man United.
Oh my goodness, I'm no more in the studio. I gotta go. All right, Cup for Life winning the second round. Cup for Life.
The first round, about the 5 substitutions, I think I think 55 substitutions is a good thing. It's a good thing for the Premier League. So I feel like Kunle edged the argument and he won it. So I think Kunle won the argument based off of the 5 subs argument, because I think it's a good thing for the progress of the Premier League. Yeah. So.
All right, massive. So all the same, we are looking at 1-1. That's a draw game in the building. I'm talking about a sports debate show today. Kunle scoring the first point, and the second one goes for Cup for Life. So it's still nil. But all the same, we have to find a winner. We have to find someone to give us the level playing ground right now. Egunje is going on under the ground. People are passing so many things under the ground. Now, Professor Tuchel, is there anybody that wants to say something before we move on, before we call it a day?
I don't know if anybody has anything to add to it, but I think for me it's been a fantastic.
I have something to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I have something to say. I was hoping that my points will go to. I was hoping I would get a point on Ronaldo. And the thing is this. Maybe I didn't. Maybe you didn't get to. Maybe understand where I was coming from. You see, I am actually a bit sympathetic towards Ronaldo, and that is the main reason why I said it is good he leaves, because being in the Manchester United environment, I said was going to be a mere of mockery
for United.
Look, I'm thinking about him. Look, I was looking at it from the angle of him, because like I rightly mentioned, he's a colossal figure, so he deserves to be in an environment where things are working. But you bring him to an environment where, like Cup for Life mentioned, the hierarchy, everything, is that really where you want
but
him?
what I'm saying is
I don't want him. I personally don't want him to be there, because it's going to make mockery of him. And that is why at the end of the day now he's saying he wants to leave, because that's why I said I'm sure he knew that these things were not there, that Manchester United was not what you were. So you weren't going to come in and just come and do magic and all. Now look at it. We were so close to the Europa Conference League. That is the reality of Manchester United now.
Do you think it's a good thing that Ronaldo's leaving the club? Is a good thing for Man United as a club? How is it good for Man United?
As a club, okay, it's not good for Manchester United.
Exactly.
But
Man United.
Yeah, but looking at where the club is, I mean, looking at how things are going, it doesn't help. if you want to go, that's why getting players like Cup for Life mentioned is a difficulty. That's why I feel like he was now saying that, okay, I feel players like Malacia are better because someone like him, he still has, he's like an open book. So it's like it's a new chapter for him. He's not someone, so we are not going for an established player. So maybe he can build his name, perform some good games, and make a name. That and say you go for one player who was highly.
I was going to say that was the point, Kunle, you should have made. That
you understand?
Ronaldo leaving United can afford Ten Hag,
Mm.
can take the pressure off him.
Yes, I said that now. I said that because
with younger players, with fresh players.
Yeah, I said,
and maybe that might be an advantage to him.
Yeah, that was what I said. That egos. That's what I said. That egos, because you're going to have the problem of massaging egos. And I said, Ten Hag is no, say, Carlo Ancelotti or Zidane, who had superstars. I mentioned. So I know what I said. I reached my point. I don't agree. No, I didn't agree. I was ready for that. I was hoping my points. I was ready to sacrifice 5 subs. I wanted the Ronaldo points. Yes, boss.
Interestingly for me, I actually the Ronaldo one for me was the one that I thought I was going to lose for, because if I was on the other side of the Ronaldo argument, I would choose the person out. But I just thought, okay, well, all right, let me give Ronaldo the benefit of the doubt. Right? But I'll be honest, the 5 subs one, I think, and I tell you why, the protocol. The only 2 valuable points that I would say only brought up were young players coming to and possibility of injuries. And I had that with 5 different points, and that was not recognized. To me, I am certain I won the 5 subs one, purely because, for starters, and I think the fact that it got caught up in the middle of me predicting the beginning of the Super League. The Super League has nothing to do with my point. The point here is that the squad depth, you cannot tell me these teams, they will be filling up their squads now with youth players. That's the bottom line. That's a big deal, because you cannot be bringing on youth players when Man City are changing, bringing KDB off and bringing in Bernardo. It's not the same thing. I talked about games. I talked about larger budgets. I talked about fresher players to impact the game that have better quality. All of that was ignored for just the use of youth players. Youth players will not do anything for this bigger team, for the smaller teams at all. So I think I won that one. And I'm going to check your bank balance after this.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there you go now. Guys, thanks for coming to the show. Moderator, please, could you sign us out? What do you think? All the same is 1-1?
Yeah, 1-1. 1-1.
Yeah, all right. See, fantastic debate. Fantastic. We're going to sign off. First of all, I'm going to tell Cup for Life, thanks for showing up. It's been a wonderful time with you. Thank you so much. Let's see behind the scene, bro. One love, man. Take it easy. All right, Kunle, all the way from Lagos. Thank you so much, bro. What's going on, Kunle? Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks so much, boss. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show once again. I appreciate it.
Thank you. One love. See you again. Baba Femi, again, I want to thank you for joining us on this show. It's been a pleasure seeing you on this show. Thank you, Baba Femi.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. All right, guys. It's all about Intercontinental Sport TV. I swear down, you guys are wonderful. Thanks for joining us. It's been a fantastic moment. We call this show Debate Show, the Sport Debate Show. It's every Thursday at the same time. Join us next week when we go to come up with another fantastic moment and a fantastic content. But today, it's been a pleasure. Once again, if you are watching this for the first time, let me tell you what you need to do. Please subscribe to the channel. Yes, let's do this. Let's build up the community together. Let's do it together. I tell you why, the reason they call me the Don. Because sexy here is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful people. No dull moment. We do it this way. You can't find it anywhere. It's on this channel. Take it easy, guys. I sign out. Thank you so much once again. Bye for now.